So, what happens when you take a gaming legend, we're talking 38 years in the trenches, and replace him with an AI executive? Yeah, this is not just another corporate shakeup. This is a big deal, a real seismic event that's sending shockwaves across the entire tech world, and it tells us something really important about where things are headed. Let's break it down. All right, welcome to your Tech News Bites. We've sifted through over 1,200 news articles from the last 24 hours to bring you what really matters. So today, we're diving deep into that huge AI shakeup at Microsoft. It's really rattling the gaming world. We're also going to unpack a Supreme Court ruling that is literally rewriting the rules of global trade. And we'll get into the escalating cyber arms race, which is now being fought with AI. So here's how we're going to tackle this. First up, a super fast news bulletin to get you completely up to speed. Then, we'll dive into the big strategic shifts. Follow the money, see who's really being impacted by all this. And then, we'll give you a playbook, what you can actually do about it. Let's jump in. Okay, let's kick things off with Act 1, the news bulletin. We're about to hit you with the 10 biggest headlines from the last 24 hours, so get ready, this is going to be fast. First up, a major changing of the guard at Xbox. An AI exec is now in charge. Next, the Supreme Court just totally upended global trade rules. Then we've got a new AI tool from Anthropic that's got cybersecurity investors running scared. At the same time, AI-powered hacks just broke through more than 600 corporate firewalls. OpenAI had a serious debate about whether to call the cops over some violent ChatGPT logs. That AI hardware boom, yep, it's making your gadgets more expensive. India and the US are now forming a major semiconductor alliance, and that's aimed squarely at China. Samsung just completed some critical tests for 6G networks. Over in the Middle East and South Asia, digital travel is getting a massive overhaul. And last but not least, Tesla's new, cheaper Cybertruck? Well, it launched with a price tag that's a whole lot higher than what they promised. Okay, let's get into our big story, the big shift. So that headline about Xbox chief Phil Spencer retiring, this is so much more than just an exec leaving. Microsoft is making a massive strategic statement here. And believe me, it's about the future of a whole lot more than just video games. So, on one hand, you've got Phil Spencer, a 38-year veteran, a true gamer's gamer, the guy everyone loved because he focused on the community. And on the other hand, his replacement is Asha Sharma, an AI executive. Her job, plain and simple, is to bake artificial intelligence into the very core of gaming. Now, here's why this matters so much. Microsoft is planting a flag. They're basically telling the world that the future of all entertainment, yet even a culture as unique and passionate as gaming, is going to be defined by AI. You see, a move like this draws a really clear line in the sand. It creates winners and losers, right? So who are the winners? Well, obviously Microsoft and all the AI startups that are riding this wave, but who gets left behind? You've got the gaming purists who are worried that AI is just going to strip the soul out of the whole experience. And for sure, any gaming brand out there that doesn't have a solid AI strategy, they are officially on notice. And all of this leads to a really big question, doesn't it? Is every major company now, secretly an AI company? And here's why that question is so important. It's because being a leader today isn't just about market share or a cool product anymore. It's about having a real, believable vision for an AI-powered future. If you don't have that, you're already behind. So this AI-first way of thinking, it's doing way more than just shaking up boardrooms. It's fueling a full-blown arms race in the market. And look, this race isn't just about writing clever code. It's about money. Big money. And the shockwaves from it are just getting bigger and bigger. I mean, just look at what happened this week. Anthropic, which is a major AI player, dropped a new tool that can automatically find and exploit security weaknesses. Basically, an AI hacker. So what happened? Well, stocks for all the big established cybersecurity companies just plunged. Why? Because one single AI tool just showed up and threatened to make their entire business model obsolete. So investors are spooked, for sure, but they're not pulling out. In fact, Anthropic is now trying to raise an absolutely insane 10 times $1 billion. See, the money isn't leaving. It's just chasing the next big thing. And this whole AI boom, it has a very real physical cost. I'm talking about the crazy demand for chips to power all these AI models. It's creating what you could call a silicon famine, leading to massive hardware shortages. And look, this isn't some abstract supply chain problem you read about. It's the reason why parts for something like the Steam Deck OLED are suddenly impossible to find. It's why your next phone or laptop might cost you more. Turns out, the AI revolution is being built on a very limited supply of stuff. Okay, so this isn't just happening in corporate boardrooms or on Wall Street. Who's actually feeling the impact of all these changes? let's take a quick look at how everyone's feeling. For developers, things are looking pretty positive. They're getting awesome new tools, but man, the pressure to keep up is intense. For big companies and startups, it's a mixed bag. On one hand, there are huge opportunities, but on the other, there are these massive new threats. For you and me, the consumers, it's mixed too. We get cool new tech, but we're also facing higher prices and some scary new security risks. And the governments? They're playing it safe, kind of cautious, trying to figure out how to regulate all this without killing innovation. And you have to remember, this is not just a Silicon Valley story. Not at all. These changes are literally redrawing the entire global tech map. Over in the US, you've got this battle of the AI giants, and now it's all being complicated by this new trade mess from the Supreme Court. But honestly, the really fascinating story right now is happening in India. They are making a huge strategic move. They're partnering up with the US on semiconductors to become a real alternative to China in the global AI supply chain. And this isn't just about tiny pieces of silicon. This is a play for geopolitical power in the AI era. At the same time, the Middle East is just pouring money into its own digital revolution. And Europe? Well, Europe is trying to walk that tightrope between encouraging innovation and actually regulating it. So, with all this happening, how do you actually navigate it? What do you do? Well, here is your strategic playbook. These are actionable things you can do based on everything we've seen in the last 24 hours. All right, if you're a developer, you have to master AI-powered security tools. It's not optional anymore. For all you startup founders out there, the hype phase is cooling down. You need to focus on building things that are actually useful and efficient. To all the enterprise leaders and CTOs listening, those 600+ firewall breaches, that's your wake-up call. Your absolute top priority has to be upgrading your defenses against AI-driven threats. And finally, for investors, yeah, the smart money is flowing into AI infrastructure and security, but you better be ready for a bumpy ride. All right, last act. Let's look ahead. So where is all of this going? Okay, in the short term, get ready for the AI funding craze and that cybersecurity arms race to just keep speeding up. And that Supreme Court tariff decision, that's going to keep making the market jumpy. Now, looking out a little further, into the medium term, that's when the real consequences start to crystallize. Big companies are going to be forced to do major security upgrades. It's not going to be a choice. We're going to see a ton of AI startups get snapped up as the giants consolidate their power. And you can bet that governments will finally have to step in with some real rules for AI. But here's the real story, the one I think everyone is underestimating. It's not just that AI is changing the game. It's that AI is becoming the game. The whole competition, whether it's in business or security or even entertainment, it's now all about who can build and use the best AI. And that leads us to the biggest question of all, really. When AI is both the weapon and the shield, who's actually in control? If you want to stay ahead of the curve in this crazy new game, make sure you visit newsbite.tech for more insights.